Well, good evening and welcome back to the Brothers-in-law. And on this channel, we discuss incidents that occur around the country and we give our analysis on the actions of those police officers. Actions are what a reasonable officer would do. We also take a look at the act of citizens and see if they have followed our acronym of CALM, which stands for Compassion, Listen, and Move On. Would their situation had turned out differently? Now, again, as we agree or disagree with this, but that's okay. It is by the end of these videos that you get a better understanding of how these incidents unfold, the mindset of the officers going into these types of situations. If you're new to our channel, I'm a former Virginia State police officer, 7 years, Navy Chief Petty Officer, 21 years of service. And Mike, welcome.
Good to be back. Good to have everybody on. I'm Mike Bradley. I'm a 26-year police officer veteran, retired in Northern California. Also a 6-year Army vet. We got a good show lined up for you today. As you know, we like to pull police incidents and see how they did and how they conducted themselves and how the citizens conducted themselves. And we like to talk about and give you an idea of what would be in the mind of a reasonable police officer. So we got a good one for you today.
Before we get into the show, if you're new to us, please go ahead and hit that like, share button so you stay up to date on all our latest videos that we come out with. We go live every Thursday night. So again, welcome everybody. And we're going to get into this. Before we do, though, if you have not been over to our merch shop, get on over to our merch shop. Apparel that we have some very beautiful t-shirts. Says comply, listen, and move on. Stay calm acronym. Logo on the back. Variety of products and things that we're sure you to. And also this helps us with other projects and things that we're trying to do to get the message out there. Far and wide across the country, if you will, and on how to interact with law enforcement when you get stopped. All right. With that being said, Mike, we got a good one. This is actually, I had a little difficulty in how I should name because if you really think about it, it's really two different videos, although it's one. It's two separate incidents, right? So we'll go ahead and set it up. But the first is just officers' body cam footage of planes in San Francisco, correct, Mike?
Yeah, I think so, San Francisco.
And they're, I believe it said, one article I read said they were former gang union. I think they just renamed it. But the principle of what they do, related activity. And so they're rolling up on it. He's well known. They know who he is, and they believe he has a warrant. That part, I actually might, and you guys will see it in the video. I don't have a problem, but then it leads into the second part of this, where I title of the breaking point. Man tries to intervene with an arrest and pulls a gun, and it doesn't end so well. So, that second part, Mike, I think is the part where we really want to focus on. Am I correct?
Yeah, I agree. I think that second part, it will explain how different threats could be created in a situation that officers have to be aware of. So I think that second part is real good. If I'm not mistaken, these officers were dealing with one subject they were arresting one subject. And this second person inserted himself in the situation, basically causing an additional threat to these officers, if you will. Okay. And we're going to show that second video kind of shows how that threat was handled, and we're going to talk about it. We might break the video down at times, And only reason why we break the video down at times because we want to explain what would be in our mind as an officer at that particular point in the incident. That's the reason why we would break it down like that. But yeah, Corey, you're right. That second part is the important part because it shows how this additional threat came into the picture. You know.
Can you check my check? Can y'all hear me good? Give me a thumbs up in the comment section if you can hear me very well. I just notifications that we were breaking up. Can you hear me good, Mike?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you do cut out at times. At times you've been kind of cutting out and you'll come back in.
Okay.
But folks, bear with us because we're both having computer problems today. I'm actually talking to you on an iPad, so we're having computer problems, connection problems, and things like that, you know. But we'll get it together.
Well, we had a really bad storm roll through our area, so we have the most crappiest internet provider around. So when we had bad weather, it goes south anytime. You're on a hit and miss, and we only have one provider. Kind of sucks for us, but so bear with us. We'll go ahead and set this up for you. Now I got the flash, Mike.
Okay, I'm back on with my laptop now. Okay, I had to turn hybrid off.
I gotta put them on. All right, there you go.
Okay, I think we're good now. All right,
we good.
We're good. Hey, Tone, I see you, Tone. I see you, Goat. I see you guys on here. Yeah, so I think I got the computer issue fixed. Finally came back up.
Your head and not our heart.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a lot of profanity in here. So just be and it's a bit of graphic in it too. So be advised.
How are you?
What's your name, bud?
Right? Yeah.
What's the problem? You get a warrant, I think, buddy.
Yeah. Who's gonna handle that?
All right. You cool? We're gonna confirm it real quick, and then I'll let you know. All right.
I call somebody?
Yeah. But I'm gonna put you in handcuffs real quick. All right.
Let's just step on this side.
Mike.
No.
You gotta hold on.
Just hold on. I'm not gonna see this. I promise I'm not gonna see this.
Hey, sis, call somebody, bro. Call my girl. You get out of my pocket. I forgot her number.
I'll get it for you.
You got it?
Now this part goes fine. This guy's got a warrant. He acknowledges that. You know what I'm saying? He lets them do their job, do what they're supposed to do.
We'll confirm it, and then
That's not the problem.
I know, but
Okay, you can put it back in my
I
pocket.
just know your number. I know, but we're not gonna take it.
I can put it back.
Notice
I
the
know,
key,
but
though.
you're not gonna- Okay,
I told my brother.
okay.
I'm touching the phone too.
Yeah, he just said give it to me. Hey.
He just said to give it to me. Why are you dropping my phone?
Are you?
Hey, brother, calm down, bro.
Yeah, he told me to
Calm
give it.
down.
Okay.
Calm down. Calm down.
We're not trying to do that, okay?
Bro, call my sister, bro. Password 47.
I'm gonna look very.
No, I know. I got a warrant out and shit.
I'm gonna, let me, yeah. Here,
So this guy had a warrant. This team, their job is to find guys with warrants. Okay, that's why they might be in plain clothes and stuff like that. That's their
I just
job.
put it at Fairfax in Catalina.
Hey, please follow me, bro.
That's right, Yanni.
Can we get a phone set?
And see, the problem is not this gentleman here. He's actually being complicit.
Yeah. Dang. They talking about warrant out, bro.
got no warrant, bro.
They talking about somebody got a warrant out, bro.
Check it right now,
I don't know, nigga. I don't know. I'm just saying, nigga.
Chill, hella shit.
Yo, mom, stop. Yo, mom, hey, see, it's good.
No.
I'm not here. Hold on. Grab his, my shit. What you talking about, bro? All right, go ahead, search me, nigga. Y'all supposed to be search me up there, nigga. The fuck you mean, nigga? The fuck you mean, nigga? Hey, bro. How is he supposed to react in your audience like that?
Don't charge us, bro.
I ain't had no torches, brother. What the fuck my hands? Grab like my back, nigga.
Chill out, man.
Give me the fuck word. Nigga.
You good, brother? Just chill out, man.
Or I'm waiting till I'm getting to a fucking actual core, nigga. What? I ain't getting that, bitch.
He ain't getting it. For real.
I ain't getting that, bitch. Bro,
How
call
you know
somebody,
my name?
She on the phone.
How you know my name?
Carrying my fucking wrist, bro.
How you know my
Do
name?
nothing. Do something about it, bitch. The fuck you mean, nigga?
How you know my name?
The fuck, bitch?
How do you know my name?
Nigga.
How the fuck they know my
Give me
name?
the phone, bro. The top part not even here yet, bro. Hold on, nigga. A fucking wrist, nigga.
Hey, chill, brother. Chill, though. Chill.
Be calm if it's police grabbing on him like that.
Man.
You know they gonna do that.
I know, bro. Come on now, bro. She on it. Bro, cause don't even call. Don't call my pastor nothing, nigga. You heard what happened, nigga? Yeah, like I said, nigga, I'm going back to the 9, bro. They walked on me. I wasn't doing shit. They was just chilling. Hey, sis, and plus, and baby, I don't got my finger too. I don't got my finger, so it's good. You hear me? Don't make it worse. The fuck you mean, bro?
Yeah, they just nah, nigga, they throw.
But how is like something else to do?
Man, we were just fucking chilling. Y'all messing with us. We go to church. Come on now, nigga. Church. Hey, Tino, he just got out last night. Hey, sis, I just gave him my other phone. All right, call me on. I got your phone. Damn, now niggas putting taps on my fucking stomach now, bro. What?
I think what's going on here is they're waiting for a marked patrol unit to transport it, or some kind of transport.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. So did y'all search me or what? All right, so what's up, bro? Can y'all listen to the first, bro? They got me fucking put, and plus my fucking left shoulder, bro. I could pop this shit out of socket easy, bro. So be cool, nigga.
Charlie 13, Charlie, have a break from the 15 out. I'm really had that 15 company being the login.
I agree with that comment, Delano. That's a good comment.
My pants up, bro. My pants up, bro.
You pull your own pants up, doc. Yeah, my man.
Where did they even come from?
They came in front of the crib. Cashmere.
They just walked all the way down here. Right? I know my right. This is violating the Fourth Amendment.
Oh, wow. Can you send it over to me? Yeah.
Hey,
No, she. I don't know what you did and what you trying to look on any ear.
Fuck y'all doing? Come on now, tell them, big bro. Ain't do shit, nigga. Fuck y'all doing in my neighborhood? They ain't got no warrant. Ain't no fucking police, nigga. Ain't no police, bitch ass nigga.
It's okay.
Ain't no fucking police, nigga. I said so, the fucking royal. Now tell me something, nigga.
You need to back up and
I need to do what?
Okay,
Do what?
right there.
I'm copying right now. Yo, on my mama's soul, I'm copying right now. Fuck you mean? I'm copying right now. I said I'm copying right now. On my mama's soul. I'm copying right now. You call him up, nigga. I wish somebody would roll up to us, boy, nigga. The king is outside. Nigga, get the fuck out of my hood.
Therefore, you gotta call for, you got one point you can
Don't touch his going nowhere. What you mean, nigga? He ain't going nowhere. You don't really want to start me. You want to start? I'm not worried about the women. You want to start me, nigga? You want to start me, nigga? I'll fuck you up out here, nigga. Bitch ass nigga. I cuff that nigga right now, nigga.
Meeting over
I cuff him.
884, 830, 850 hours and available Michigan response.
Can you hear me, Corey?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, hold it right there for a minute.
I cuff you right now.
Got a gun.
Hey!
Okay, folks. I mean, you see what's happening up to this point.
Right.
Now, they were doing fine, Corey, when they had the guy that they were there for. They had him handcuffed. He was secured. Delando, I agree with the comment, though. There are too many agitators in the scene. Yeah, I think these officers were in a situation where they kind of had no choice at that moment. They were waiting for a patrol unit or a transport unit. And then this guy comes into the scene. Now, viewers, you tell me, are there any threats in this situation to the officer? You got this guy who inserted himself into this situation. He is a big threat. He's agitated. He's not quite doing anything physically yet, but he is a threat. And this is how an officer will look at that. Is you're a threat. You're telling me to get out of your neighborhood, calling me names. Is it reasonable for me to think that you might try to physically do something to stop me from arresting this guy? Sure. Look at your actions. Okay. So right out the gate, he comes into the situation, Corey, as a threat, and he intends to be a threat.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he rolls up and he's got his hands clenched, like, you know, in an aggressive manner, first of all, I would never let him get close to me like that. You already got your hands clenched up and you're going to walk up on me in an aggressive manner like that. Dude, you lucky you didn't get tased right off the jump. I'm not going to play it. You're not going to walk up on me. First of all, I have somebody detained right now until I can verify the warrant. You know, I had to worry about this person's safety, and you're just going to roll up on us like that and yelling all these profanity words and stuff and calling us names. And no, I think they were very, very professional handling. They didn't overreact to it. Hey man, you know, calm down, get back. You know, I think they agitated the situation more by allowing those other folks to follow them out all the way out, and really just amped the guy they had in detained. It really hyped him up. You know, because in the beginning, you know, he was cool.
Yeah, he was talking a little bit of mess, but for the most part,
I mean, that's fine.
Cool.
I mean that you know, but I probably would have told him to stop dropping the N-word like that, bro. Like, come on, please tell me you're a little bit more educated than that. You know some more words than just the N-word. You know, I might have told him to tone that down, but you know, you can say what you want to say. But you know, I think that just fueled him on more because they allowed the crew, if you will, to follow them out there to the road there. Yeah. But point for me, number one, you're not gonna roll up on me like that, and that's why you have to understand. You know, police are gonna act a certain way while we tell you to get back. Don't run up on us, because now you know we have to think about, you know, like you just said, Mike, you know, one, officer safety. Do I want to let this individual roll up on me like this? What are your intentions? Why are you doing this? You know what I'm saying?
And you're clearly agitated. It's clear that you might try to do something here because you're pretty agitated and your actions are showing that I cannot trust that you're just going to stand at bay. You know what I'm saying? I think the big thing here for our viewers is I want them to understand, and I want them to be able to recognize threats that an officer may see. Okay. This is a situation where this guy is creating a very big threat. And these officers now have to, like you said, Corey, they got to worry about the person that they have handcuffed. They got to worry about the other people around the scene, standing around the scene.
Yeah.
And now they have to worry about this one guy who is over the top agitated coming into the scene. So that's 3 threats that you got to worry about controlling, and you got to worry about making sure that the threat doesn't go any further than it does. Okay. But keep in mind, Corey, these are some areas where it might take a while too. In some of these deep cities, it might take a while for that patrol unit or that transport unit to get there. So these officers are kind of stuck here with this handcuffed guy, you know what I'm saying, waiting on a transport unit. This video doesn't really show how many officers are there at that moment. Okay.
At this moment, I counted just the 3, the 2 females and the male officer.
Okay. Okay.
So I counted 3 total officers. Right.
So for the viewers, you should be able to recognize these threats. And this is, like you said, Corey, this is why officers might say, please stand back, get back, or something like, because they have to make sure that they are safe. They have to make sure the person that they're dealing with is properly taken care of, secured, and safe. Okay. And they have to be aware of all the other threats, a 360 degree of threats around them while they're doing their job. Right. Now, especially in these time ages, Corey.
Yeah. You're totally fine with being out there observing, yelling and screaming and saying whatever you want, but you need to do it at a distance, right? The moment you start rolling up on the officers, that's going to cause them really to amp up their situational awareness. Now, right? I'm already going to assume you're not getting back. I'm telling you to get back. You keep rushing up on me. I'm going to have to now assume that you are a threat to me.
Yeah, this guy's definitely a threat. Hands down.
Hands down, he's definitely a threat. And this is important. This is why, don't take offense, or, they're just telling you to get back, just to be, a dickhead, if you will, to you. No, really trying to tell you back, because I'm trying to process who's a threat.
Right.
Even though I may have this one individual detained, right, or trying to get this situation under control, but I'm still trying to assess the whole area. All right. Making sure, nobody's coming up with a chair and hit me from behind or roll up behind us. We need to make a whole 360, like you said, Mike, of a secured area. And so when we ask them folks to get back, please just get back. You can stay back. You can videotape. You can yell and scream, do whatever you want, but just stay back and allow enough space for that officer to do their job.
Right.
And what you're doing is being a great witness. You're standing back, you're videotaping, you got a wider view of what you're trying to capture on your video. So it be to your advantage to stay back and allow them to do what they need to do to make sure to save the scene. Because at the end of the day, that officer is responsible for everybody's safety on that scene.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna keep it rolling.
All right.
I'm coming right now.
Hey, he's got a gun. Hey, let's go. Get your hands up. Get your hands up. Get your hands up. Hands up right now, shoot. Hands up or I'll shoot. Hands up or I'll shoot. Charlie 11 Adam 1 at gunpoint, not responding to commands. Get your hands up or I'll shoot. Hands up or I'll shoot. Get your hands up or I'll shoot you in the head. Hands up or I'll shoot you in the head. Hands up. Get your hands up. Drop your hands up or I'll shoot you in the head. Get out. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down! Get down! Put your hands up and get on the ground! Put your hands up and get on the ground! Fuck! Charlie 11 Adam, can somebody put it out? Charlie 11 Adam, shots heard. Pete.
Catalina, Fairfax. One down. One down at Catalina and Fairfax. One down at Catalina and Fairfax.
Get back!
Get back up!
Back up!
Get a team set up! Get a team set up! I got the 221. I got 221. Get him out.
Get out of the way! We have medics code 3?
Should we do it? I got the 201.
Anyone got shears? Shears!
Shears? I got no shears.
I need shears!
Yeah, back up.
Don't you say shit to me. You better pump, bitch. You better pump. You better pump.
All right, so there you go.
Now,
Go ahead, Mike.
There was something. It wasn't quite clear on that video, but from what I read, before those patrol units got there, the marked patrol units, he apparently brandished a firearm at those officers that were had that one guy arrested. So that was another reason why they came in hot like that with guns drawn, because he apparently had brandished a firearm at the officers. Okay, obviously in California, can't have concealed weapon on your person, so it's illegal to have that on your person, and obviously it's illegal to brandish a firearm at anyone. Okay, in California, so that was part of it. But I couldn't quite see that on the video real clear because it was maybe I would like to see another angle, but that was apparently why they came in hot. Now the second thing is, when they shot him, he apparently made a move with his hands up like that, which they shot him. You know what I'm saying? Is that did they think he had a gun? Did he have a gun? I couldn't. The video that they showed was far away, overhead, so I couldn't. They don't show the clearness. I'm sure later on there will be a clear video, a better video, showing those angles, hopefully. But when he raised his arm up like that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He probably had something in his hand or something like that where they thought it was.
Well, he had a gun because let me back it up. Because you actually see the gun on the ground.
Okay. All right.
Let's see.
Yeah, Jesus loves you. You can conceal carry in California with license, obviously.
Right about
but
here.
You know, like something like Texas and stuff, you can have a gun license or not. But yeah, in California, you can only conceal carry if you have a permit to do so. If you have a concealed carry.
Keep in mind, Mike, he's a prior convicted felon.
Yeah, so
he shouldn't have a gun. Period. Right.
So it's safe to say that if they know him, they had history with him. It's safe to say those officers knew he wasn't supposed to have a firearm on.
Right.
Get a team set up. Get a team set up. I got the 221. I got 221.
Let's copy. Oops. All right.
Get him out.
Get out of the way!
We have medics code 3? Should we do it? I got the shooter one.
It's up right where this officer is, his body cam. He's going to pick it up.
Anyone got shears? Shears. Shears? I got no shears.
There it is.
I see it. I saw it. Okay.
I wish, but the gun is right there. He's bent it down to pick it up.
I saw it. Drew. I saw it as the camera panned over it. I saw it. Yeah. But now after the shooting, the officer's job isn't done, obviously. So now you got these other citizens surrounding him, yelling and screaming. You know what I'm saying? Now, not only do they have to provide first aid for this suspect that they just shot on the ground, now they also have to still, even more so, worry about the people around them screaming and yelling and saying, you did this, you did that. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things and threats that those officers now are surrounded by that they have to address all at the same time.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the reason why you need to stay back, because like you said, after that initial incident happened, now you have to transition and go straight into your life-saving mode. Yeah. And it's hard to do when you got, everybody coming out of the tree line to try to interject their personal feelings into the situation right now. And to Delando's point, he says, as I hear the crowd screaming and commotion, I'm thinking, so it's now the officer's fault for him pulling the weapon and putting them in this situation. No, it's not the officer's fault. He put them in that situation. Now, there are arguments going around, a few articles I was reading that they didn't de-escalate well enough. They gave him plenty of opportunities to drop the weapon, folks. I'm not sure how much more de-escalation you're going to do. Now, we always do say time is on our side. Could they have waited him out? True, but how hot was it?
Until he raised the gun up, that's
right.
Different.
Until he raised the gun up, that's different, right? But you got people walking around aimlessly there. How much of a chance? Like when they were saying get back, you had that one lady just not even 10 feet from him. He could have snatched her up. Now you got a hostage situation, right?
Well, not only that, Corey, from what I understand, and a lot of times it's not uncommon in these situations, especially in these neighborhoods where it's a lot of people that you would expect something like that to happen. Is I don't know if that sounded right the way I said that or not, but you know what I'm talking about, folks. If you were in a situation, it's not uncommon where if a shooting occurs, it's not uncommon for another citizen to run up and grab the gun that guy had and run off with it. So in an effort to say he didn't have no firearm, there was no firearm on him, they would go up and try to grab the firearm and take off with it. You know what I'm saying? That's not uncommon either, folks. So that's another reason why it's urgent that they keep the crowd away from him and the scene.
That's a good point. Good point. So I mean, and I have to just go back to Delando's point. Another thing a lot of folks were talking about as well is the language that they were using while they were trying to so-called de-escalate the situation was, the police officers were using profanity. And I started scratching my head. I was like, well, did you listen to what he was saying? So it's okay for him to have that type of language and vulgarity, but no, not you police officers. Don't you do that. Listen, when you get in that hype situation, I probably said it too. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to you, Mike. Matter of fact, I know I told dude, let me see freaking hands or I'm gonna shoot you. Because that's what I'm gonna do. Because you're not responding, you're a threat, you have a weapon, and I gotta bring the situation to an end. Either you're gonna comply or the use of force will be used. I much rather you did comply, so I wouldn't have to go that far. But what about them calling out a crisis unit in this situation? We've talked about these type of things before. Would there have been enough time to do that?
You know, Corey, I'm all for de-escalation. Okay, obviously, I think some people are. I think they don't understand what de-escalation means. That's a situation where you're not sitting down in a psychiatrist's office talking to the guy and trying to, get him to do what you need him to do. You don't have that kind of environment. You are at a high stressful environment where firearms are involved. You are trying to address a subject who brandished firearm at a police officer, okay, just a minute ago. And you're there to arrest him and take him down. He was already aggressive, already showing that he was clearly a threat. Okay. De-escalation is, I need you to get on the ground and put the gun down. Put the gun down, get on the ground. Or get on the ground, let me see your hands, get on the ground. That's de-escalation, folks. That's a part of de-escalation too. Okay. Me giving you commands is a way of saying, I want to make sure you understand exactly what is expected of you at that point. Okay. And excuse me. And I want you to follow my commands. And look, we don't have to do this. Yeah, bad language. So what? So what? These officers deal with knuckleheads on the street day in, day out, 24/7. Okay. So what? He said the F word, I'm gonna shoot you. So what? You know what I'm saying? I don't care about that. My thing is, if I mean business, I want you to know I mean business. And if I say the F word and get on the ground, you should know that I mean business. Okay. And de-escalation is great. And like you say, time is on our side until then.
Right. And Scott makes a good point. De-escalation is ideal, but never a guarantee, and you have to prepare for it. 100%.
Right.
100%.
100%.
Right.
And when you prepare for it, when you are prepared for it, de-escalation, you may not even have an opportunity to de-escalate. Okay. Yeah. In my opinion, you only had an opportunity to tell him to get down on the ground. We ain't got time to hold a long conversation, because once you raise that hand up or that gun up or whatever you're raising up there, you're gonna get shot.
Yeah.
De-escalation is out the window at that point. Again,
at that point, and it's almost like going through your escalation of forces, like we were taught, in the military. You show a presence, verbal commands, and then on up to deadly force. I mean, de-escalation is just like that. When I roll up, it's my presence of authority is automatically the first part of de-escalating. So, it's assumed that when you see an officer roll up on the scene that, all right, we need to stop. You would think a reasonable person and a logical person in the right frame of mind at that moment sees the officers roll up. Oh, all right, we need to stop what we're doing. The police are here. Then you get into the verbal commands. Then you get into the show of force. Then you get into the ultimately the use of force. So it happens quickly. It's really doesn't. You can go 1 to 4 in the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
And so in de-escalation, it goes like that. When they rolled up, that guy theoretically, as Scott was saying, and this is why it's ideal, he should have stopped what he was doing and put his hands up, dropped the gun, and got on the ground. Ideally, that's what you would expect to happen. But like you said, you need to be prepared.
Yeah, I mean, again, de-escalation is great. I think, I try to de-escalate every call for service that I've responded to where somebody was amped up. De-escalation for me was a natural part of the call. It was a natural part of the process. Look, man, I just need you to calm down because I need to get this done. I need to do this. It ain't that bad. It can, you use words. You get a feel of the situation, get a feel of the type of person you're dealing with, okay? And you instantly try to de-escalate. That's always the case for me, Okay, but de-escalation doesn't mean I sit down on the sofa and you sit down on the sofa and I give you a one-to-one psychiatrist counseling kind of deal. That's not what de-escalation is in this type of situation. Okay, de-escalation is, listen, I need you to put that gun down. I need you to get down on the ground. I need you to do whatever commands I'm telling you, and then we can start from there. Okay, but until I address the threat, then I can't de-escalate anything past what I'm already doing.
And like we always say, Mike, arrests aren't pretty. De-escalation is not pretty. It's not going to be your scripted Hollywood movie. It's just not going to work that way. We would love for it to be ideal. Like we say, you know, in the military, yeah, you're real and ideal. Ideally, yeah, we would love it to be textbook. We would love every traffic stop to be stress-free, and just to, you know, issue the summons, or if we had to make arrests, everything just went textbook. But reality is, it's not going to happen that way. So, you know, to get it in your head, like you said, that, you know, you thinking that you sitting in the couch and they're laying on the couch and, you know, we're going to, you know, work this out. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, it just doesn't. I would love for it to, and I'm sure you would too, when you were a cop. But, you know, that's the one thing when I would roll up on a situation, you know, that's the one thing I don't want to do. When every time I pull my weapon, in the inside of my head, I'm saying to myself, please don't shoot, please don't shoot, please don't shoot. Lord, please don't let me shoot. Don't let me shoot. Because that's not what I want. And I can guarantee there's a lot of officers out there that was saying the exact same thing. Nobody wants to be put in that situation.
No. And folks, again, we're giving you our opinion as if we were in the shoes of these officers, seeing what these officers see. We show this because we want to give you some kind of idea of what is going on in a reasonable officer's mind in this type of given situation. Okay, we explain to you the threats that an officer would see and why they would be threats to an officer. We explain to you why it's urgent for us to try to keep people back away from the scene, back up enough to where we can safely do our job. Okay, we tried to tell you whether or not we'd have shot. Now, I would like to see more video, maybe a closer up video, but assuming that what we understand right now, yeah, I would have shot the guy too. Okay, assuming that we understand what we saw, if the guy raised his gun up, you know, if he made some threatening motion like that, yeah, he was already amped up. He was looking for this kind of confrontation when he came into the scene. Let's not forget how his behavior was when he inserted himself into the scene. This is my neighborhood. Yeah, my effing neighborhood. You ain't doing, you know, you
uncuff him now.
You already are looking for that kind of confrontation with police.
You know, could it have been, you know, suicide by a cop? He knew this was his opportunity. Who knows that guy's mindset? I mean, we don't know.
And look, I'll even throw this in there, Corey, because you know it's going to come up too. What if he had some mental health problem? That's what they'll say. We didn't give him a chance because he had some mental health problem. Does that really change the situation though?
No.
You know? No. If you raise your gun up at me, whether you have mental health problems or not, you're going to get shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't have time to address a mental health issue. I have to address the threat first.
So my question to the viewers is, do you act as a reasonable officer? And is, what would you have done if you were the officers on this scene? Would you have shot him? Would you still have tried to get this out for the next 3, 4, 5 hours to talk him down? Knowing he's armed, knowing that you have bystanders, what say you? Leave us a comment. Hear what you're thinking. Jesus, like I said, he wasn't brandish his gun and that crazy. Nothing wrong with him. Hey, you already know.
I mean, like you said, Corey, I think this guy was looking for that confrontation, and he might have been looking for that kind of result. Like you said, he might have been looking for that kind of result. And unfortunately, if you present that type of situation to me as a reasonable officer, that's going to be the result. You see what I'm saying? There's no way of making that look or sound better than what it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's situations now we see a lot of where guys are up here trying to steal officers' weapons or OC spray with the wanting them to get killed by the police because they are suffering from mental health. You got to have mental health problems if you're going to go up there and try to steal a weapon from a police officer and not think that nothing's going to happen. You're sadly mistaken. But it is a problem, and this we have to start addressing the mental health part of this. But this guy, he clearly was on some type of a mission that day, and he just very aggressive. Like I said, when he first rolled up, like I said earlier, I think that at that point, that's when he would have met the pavement with me. I would never let anybody just roll up on me like that. I'm sorry, y'all may think I'm cold-hearted, but you're not going to roll up on me like that.
Viewers, what would you have done? Like we say, if soon as he walked up and inserted himself into your scene and was acting the way he was acting, would it be unreasonable to place him in handcuffs? I don't think so. I don't think. I mean, they didn't do that, but I also wouldn't have think it would have been unreasonable to place him in handcuffs. Okay, but Corey, you also got to think of it this way. You got to think tactical as an officer all the time on the street. It may not be a safe thing to do at that point either to approach him and try to cuff him because he looked like he might try to fight. Now you got a handcuffed suspect that you trying to arrest on a warrant, and also you dealing with a fight of another suspect who inserted himself in the scene who was already angry and ready to get it on. Okay, he was already angry and ready to get it on. Okay, so you got to look and judge as an officer. Should I just keep security of my handcuffed suspect and monitor this dude acting crazy until I get back up here who can deal with him, which is what they did, because keep in mind, folks, they had to deal with the handcuffed suspect. They had to deal with the other agitators around them at that time, okay, while waiting for a transport unit. You know what I'm saying? And then this guy comes in and creates an additional threat. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I kind of agree with how they did it at that moment, Corey, because they may not have felt that they have time to deal with two suspects at the same time.
Yeah. Again, you have so much. Maybe it might not have been good to handcuff them there because you don't know how that would have affected the other young men that were standing around the guy that they had in handcuffs. Would that have triggered them? And then I can probably guarantee that some of them probably had guns on them as well. And you're probably outnumbered. I mean, it was a very bad situation. Like Scott saying, sometimes the safest thing to do is to walk away and avoid escalation, especially if it's a known subject. And maybe it could have, maybe it would have applied in this situation.
I kind of agree with Scott, but I also disagree with Scott because it's not a normal. There comes a point where, as police officers, you can't just walk away. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's the safest thing to do. Well, yeah, the safest thing to do would be to avoid any confrontation altogether. But as a police officer on duty doing your job, we both know that that's not the case. You can't just walk away. In this case, they had a handcuff suspect that they were dealing with, getting ready to arrest, just waiting for a transport unit. They're not going to uncuff that dude and walk away.
Yeah, if he never brandished the weapon, then yeah, I would agree that yeah, you could just let him be, just try to keep him back, keep an eye on him. But once he brandished that firearm, it's a whole different story. Now you can't just allow that to go.
Right. Once a crime like that happened, because look at it this way, Corey. He brandished the firearm at the officer. What if you ignored that and let it go and took your handcuffed suspect, booked him into jail, and then later on that day, the same guy ends up shooting and killing another citizen? Okay. When you let him go, that he brandished the firearm in the first place. See, think of it that way. So once, like you said, Corey, once you brandish that firearm, you've committed a crime. We can't just walk away from that, especially that kind of crime. Okay. You gotta,
and a lot of these officers know the folks in their community, in the community in which they're working. So I these guys probably know he was a prior convicted felon, and once they, oh no, it's game on now. You're a convicted felon. What are you doing with a weapon? Once that part happens, yeah, you can't ignore that. Had he never brandished that firearm, then I totally agree with Scott that you can let that one go. But you would definitely have to keep an eye on, because he's already shown himself of what he's angry, and you don't want to turn your back onto him. And it's just one of those things. I would like to think there probably could have been a different ending, but this is how it ended.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's how.
Unfortunately, that's just how it ended. So, but I think
Jesus love you say, yeah, but that's not the officer's problem. Let me see, what was he referring to? It was something Anthony said. I think you might have been talking about the PTSD mental health aspect of it. Yeah, I agree, and I agree with both of them, Anthony and Tone and Jesus loves you. Yeah, it's not the officer's problem up to a point, but today communities look at it as they expect the officers to change their behavior because someone has a mental health issue. You know what I'm saying? And what's important is, if you have a mental health issue, I will try to communicate with you in a different way or a more appropriate way. But at that time, it's not always the case. You don't always have that opportunity, like you say, Corey, to sit down on the couch in a nice, quiet, calm room and calmly talk to somebody. You don't have that opportunity a lot of times. Yeah. This was not one of those opportunities where that officer had to consider whether or not he had mental health. He had a threat that he had to address immediately, and he did.
Yeah. So I think it was a good video, good conversation. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap this one up for tonight. I'll put the link to this video in the description down below tonight. Or if I know, I'll do it tomorrow morning. But so you check it out in its entirety, Scott. Yeah, to your point, Scott, your last point, there was definitely this. There was really no other option. You weren't walking away from this one. So yeah, totally agree. Great conversation. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Remember to head on over to our merch shop, grab a merch t-shirt, Brothas-in-law t-shirt with the CALM acronym on it, and clearly the CALM acronym would not have played a role in this tonight.
Yeah, you're way past that.
Way past that. But if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. You want to add comments, to this, please drop it in there. You want to hit us up via email, please do so. Let me get the email address up on here. If you want to email us, Jesus love you. Thank you for emailing us your question last week. And we'd love to get it on the air and talk about it. Also, if you want to be a guest on our show and break down a video with us, email us and we'll set your schedule up with you, work with you. If we have to pre-record one, we'll do it. It's not a problem. Mike and I are very flexible. We both are retired, and we got nothing but time on our hands, baby. So, hey, thank you all for watching, and we love you. Mike, final words.
All right, everybody have a good weekend. Football season is upon us, folks. So we always love football season. But you guys have a good weekend. Stay safe. Be aware of surroundings. And remember, stay calm. Comply, answer questions, listen, and move on.
With that, y'all be blessed. God bless you. We love you, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace out.